Hello, I think we're running here. Of course, I've got some sort of beam of light running across my face now. Welcome to another exciting episode of Wave the Brush with me, your host, Kris, aka Mini Wargamer Kris, aka The Name Butcher, aka Hey You in Your Lair. Wave the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and everything under the sun. If you're a first-time viewer, it's usually a lot of painting talk as well as a lot of what's under the sun. Especially me being under all this sunlight right now, just creeping in. It's like, I might as well just leave that right there and have my face cut in half by sunlight. If you're attending live, you can ask your questions in the chat. And of course, if myself, doesn't answer it right away, the monkeys are more than willing to help, as they're a very clever bunch. And of course, you can always send your questions to Kris@miniwargaming.com, and I'll be sure to answer it there. And of course, you can always join us on wavethebrush.com, and that'll get you to all the social media. That'll get you to Discord, the Instagram, the Twitter, and also the Monkey Shrine. I want to build up the Monkey Shrine with lots of pictures of the monkeys. So I know there's lots of people who have been buying t-shirts. And please send me pictures of yourselves in your t-shirts. Doesn't have to be any kind of crazy locations, and preferably, somewhat tasteful. Hopefully. I don't know. I mean, it might not be. This sunlight's getting on my nerves here. Where is it? Stop it. So anyway, so Wave the Brush. Special home edition today. I'm at home, in my lair, as it were. And yeah, so we're gonna have fun. Now, I'm not doing a Twitch side of this stream, so anybody who's been tuning in on my Twitch channel, I'm afraid I'm not streaming it there today. I find it is just a little bit taxing on my home system at the moment when I do the simul stream, and it seems like a lot of errors come up, so we're not doing that today. So yeah, but anyway, and this sunlight, of course, I didn't account for sunlight coming in here at this particular angle, but oh well, I'll live. I'm not going to melt. Anyway, proof I'm not a vampire, because there's sunlight hitting me and there's nothing, burning away. So I'm not like, getting disintegrated. I am human. I'm 100% human. And so, monkeys, who's joining us today? I can see David Vaughn, Clayton Tate. Ah, yes, a secret monkey show. Swooping Hawk 67. Well, hello. Raziel Wargamer. Yeehaw. Ebb and Flow, what's up, everybody? Vasily Shimko, hello, everyone. Fear School, morning. Matthew Adami, there he is. Episode 187, Blame Quirk. We'll blame Quirk. We'll blame Quirk for everything. Why not? He's a little imp who probably is responsible for whatever's probably going wrong in your life. It's probably because of him. That's terrible. He's basically a good kid, Basically, I'm saying basically though. I know deep down there's a decent layer to the guy. I know there is. Scraping away at everything else, all that douchebaggery, and I know there's a decent kid under there. That's just in case he's listening to the show right now. I don't think he watches my show, so I can pretty much talk whatever crap I want about him. So. John J, laugh my ass off, episode 187, yes. Matthew Demi, episode 187. Kris finally came out of the closet. Well, I'm in my lair, so I don't know if that constitutes coming out of the closet, but all right. Raziel, oh geez Louise. Raziel Wargamer, what's up, everybody? What is up, everybody? What is everybody up to on this fine Sunday, other than me with this big line running down my face? Mad Cow Crazy, the most informative 120 minutes. So when are the Sisters of Battle getting plastics? It's just I don't know. I don't know if they are. They keep teasing it. Same with like the plastic Thunderhawk gunship. They keep teasing that too. And so I don't know. I don't know if it's a thing. I don't know if they're like if they're serious. They might be. Might not be. Who knows? Razio Wargamer Kris is the Sunlight Scarface. Sunlight Scarface. Interesting. Dr. Santos. Hey, monkeys. Hey, Dr. Santos. Mad Cow Crazy. Wait, what? You guys have the sun this time of year? Over here, we don't even see the sun for a few more months due to winter clouds. The sun is in your eyes is going to drive you crazy. It is going to drive me a little bit crazy, but that's okay because I'm already a little bit crazy. So maybe it pushes me over the edge. I don't know. Wait, get it right in one eye. There we go. That just completely disrupts my ability to read. Superhawk 67, episode 187. The sun, it burns, it burns. No, proof that I'm not a vampire. This is proof. And this isn't some sort of camera trickery that I'm doing like to prove to everybody that I'm not a vampire or anything like that. Or some sort of creature of the night. Sunlight is hitting me right now. It is like it's 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time in North America, in the Niagara region. We are getting some sun. We got hit with snow Friday and Saturday. Holy moly! That's why we didn't do a show yesterday because I had a whole bunch of snow to get rid of, and by the time we were getting around to it, and I was just I just couldn't do it. I was just I'd have been showing up to this just like winded. I just sounded like the little monkey from The Simpsons, Mojo. I'd have been, yeah, I wouldn't have been up for it. Ram V, hey you monkeys, hey you Kris, hey you Ram V. John J, movie reference, 187, the 1997 thriller drama. Which one was that? I don't know. 187, it's familiar. And I kind of figured that was it was a movie reference because I know there because the font for it is like a red and it's kind of like all kind of like scribbly. And is that about a room number? Is that what it is? Anyway, I don't know, and I'm not about to IMDb it up and what have you. Razio Wargamer Kris, you're lazing at home. Prove you're wearing pants. Suspenders. I've got it's my Sunday suspenders. My weekend clothes, I always have suspenders on because it's the weekend and I just let it all hang out. So to prove to you I'm not wearing pants, I offer this bit of evidence. Suspenders. I'm not getting up. Just to leave you questioning, what are my suspenders attached to? Ebb and Flow, Urukai, Sunlight, Warpaint, first pass on Kris. It's Urukai, yeah. Good old. Johnny's Chop Shop at Kris. I looked for you all day yesterday. Must have looked in 2 bars. Well, you needed to check the third one, and you'd have probably found me. I would have been in the last bar you would have looked in. There we go. That's where you would have found me. In the last bar you'd have looked in. John J. One who does not wear pants while streaming wakes up with stinky chair. Very true. Very, very true. That's kind of gross. Ramvi at Kris, let's talk Fight Club. Let's talk Fight Club because Ramvi, what's the first rule of Fight Club? You don't talk about Fight Club. The second rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. The third rule is if this is your first night at Fight Club, you gotta fight. Vasily Shimko, how do we know that this is real sunlight and not a flashlight or something? Yeah, it could be some like Hollywood trickery or something like that, right? Like I could have like a spotlight with like a little piece of paper in front of it with like little holes and yeah. It could be. I don't know. It could be like the moon landing. We're just not sure. Just not sure. There's just too many variables. There's just too many things inconsistent, right? Like, does sunlight really look like this on somebody's skin? We don't know. Nobody goes outside. How would we know? We never go outside. We're too busy assembling models and painting and, playing games. And we never go outside. So how do we know? We'll never know. Matthew Demi, Kris, Quirk is good except for the drugs and the butt chug. The butt chug? Well, I can't speak to the butt chug, but knowing Quirk, I'm sure he has tried a butt chug. I'm sure he has. Ishyab011, hey Kris and all, love the laid back Sunday show. Yes, it is kind of laid back. You know, we're in my lair. I finally had this installed in my wall in my lair. As some of you guys might have followed me on Instagram, you've seen a couple little sneak peeks of like what my command center looks like right now, and so yeah. So we're working towards the goal that maybe Way the Brush is always at home. Maybe. I don't know. Of course, the next thing I got to work on, though, is painting area and possibly even another PC to run the show. Something more powerful. Like, I have a Mac Pro that runs this, but it's an older Mac Pro, but, you know, I think something a little bit beefier, I think, is necessary. And I like to have multiple cams set up and, you know, so, yeah. Is this the Mac Pro I have? I mean, it does a great job at video editing and stuff like that. But for like a lot of this stuff, I mean, like it's got 20 gigs of RAM, so it's got plenty of RAM. It's got a nice big fat Xeon processor. Well, at least it was back a few years ago. But otherwise, you know, I think really my choke point is my video card on this thing, and you know, getting video cards for these particular Mac Pros. It's the desktop ones that were all silver and everything. It's one of those, and so getting video cards for those can be a little bit tricky. So yeah. Anyway. Oh, Knitfink, there she is. Hello everyone. Hello Knitfink. Of course, Knitfink, kind enough to do my toque that you sometimes see me in some videos. Well, I just shared a video from Steve, Mini Wargamer Steve. We played a game of 40K, and you'll see me wearing my toque because it was cool Friday when we filmed that, and it's cool in our studios, and you know, so. But we had fun. If you haven't checked out that Bat Rep, if you don't really watch Bat Reps, well then, you know. But yeah, me and Steve play a game. Eldar versus Eldar. Drukhari versus Eldari. It was a lot of fun. I played a list I have never played before. I've never ever played straight up aspect host type of list. And so that's the kind of army I played. The nice thing of being at home is I have ready access to tons of coffee. Even other beverages if I want. Dark Commission, hey Kris and Monkeys. Paul0132, building my new Nurgle stuff today. Why do I hate having time and money? Why do you hate having time and money? Why would you hate that? Time and money. Time and money just means you can do whatever you like. Why would you hate that? That sounds illogical. That does not compute for me. If I had time and money, I'd probably do this all the time. I'd probably just stream this show all the time while I was working on crap and just, you know, being a general kind of goof all day long. I think I don't know why I would hate it. In fact, I would thank my lucky stars every day that, you know, I had that kind of opportunity, you know. I mean, right now, I do thank my stars that I do have the opportunity to, you know, paint and, you know, entertain you guys and generally be a goof, and you know what I mean? So I guess I got to thank my lucky stars too, I suppose. So, and of course, you know, everybody who supports on Patreon and everybody who watches the videos and shares them and likes them and comments and all of that. It's all good. So I'm always thankful for all that. I truly am thankful. Anthony B, all the Nurgle Death Guard stuff is amazing. Yes, the new Nurgle model. I'm pretty sure it's released. I'm pretty sure. Yes, it's up on the site. You can buy it now. Anyway, after I'm done, this is for all the Vault members out there. After I'm done the Autark, you'll notice on Mini Wargaming, I've been painting an Autark. Once I'm done the Autark, I'm gonna paint the Nurgle Demon Dude. What the heck is his name? The Nurgle Demon Dude. He's the big greater demon. He's because the new kit you can make like multiple demons, right? And there's a dude. He's got a name, Rodriguez. I'm going to paint up Rodigus. So that's what I'm going to do. That's going to be the next series. So as soon as the Autark is done, we'll be jumping right into Rodigus. So that should be maybe... That may even be Thursday. That might even be Thursday. You might start seeing videos on that. Mad Cow Crazy. Twilight ruined vampires. You being in the sun doesn't mean shite. David Vaughn, fear not, Kris. Remember the sun line will move over time and eventually come off your face. Come off my face. And Matthew Demi. No, Kris. Ash is the gentleman of the night. Gentleman of the night. Oh. Raziel Wargamer. We got to tie this episode name into a Snoop Dogg song title. Well, I'm afraid I'm not really up on my Snoop Dogg titles, so I'll have to trust you guys on that one. Sofa Bear. Would you rather work with a painting metallic red or blue paints, Kris? I'm trying to decide between Alpha Legion and Thousand Suns, whose paint schemes are equally cool. I think, okay, I love the metallic red, like the way they do the Thousand Suns for 30K. We know with the red and the gold and everything like that. I love it because that's why I've been, leaning towards with some of my Samhan models with a lot of metallic red, and I love it. I mean, I would do, if I could, I would redo my whole army, but then that thought immediately leaves because the thought of redoing my entire army fills me with chest pains. I get chest pains just thinking of it, and so not going to do it. But as far as interesting color schemes go, I think I would have to lean towards Alpha Legion, like 30K Alpha Legion with the metallic blue with the hints of green in it. If you can get your hands on some of that color shift blue and green, you have the Alpha Legion scheme right there. In fact, that will even work for 40K Alpha Legion because the way they show the Alpha Legion where they have the blue armor but they got the green highlights, I think that's what they're trying to represent with that, is that it's a blue but you see that green sheen on the armor. And I think with Alpha Legion that would be pretty much the same kind of thing you're looking at. And so as far as interesting color scheme goes, I would have to lean towards Alpha Legion. And it's a very striking kind of color scheme, especially for the 30K version of them, where they're the metallic blue with the green tints, with the silver accents and the white, bold white icons on them. I like them. I like the Alpha Legion color scheme. It's a very cool color scheme. Don't get me wrong, I love the Thousand Suns as well. So I mean, it's a hard decision, I know but if you're asking my opinion, I would go with the Alpha Legion. Ramvi, I'm basing up some figs. I think it's the most boring thing in the world. Looks good after though. Yeah. Green leaf terrain, crisp and clean. Crisp and clean. It's not important to be just clean, but you got to be crisp. Like crisp. Crisp and clean. Clayton Tate, today I play a practice tournament game of orcs versus the new demons. Ooh, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Anthony B, episode 187, Jin and Lamian Medium. Jin and Lamian Medium? Oh my. I don't know. That sounds scary. Raziel, those suspenders could be attached to anything. They could be attached to anything. You don't know. I mean, I could be making it up. I mean, I'm sitting here just flinging my suspenders. But you don't know what they're attached to. You have no idea. You're just sitting there left guessing. You're just, what are they attached to? Can't possibly be pants. Knowing Kris, can't possibly be. Superhawk 67. Suspenders are probably attached to underwear. That's how I keep snapping the rubber bands on my underwear. Just blink. It's just a rubber band with suspenders hanging on. Gross. Ebb and flow. Because it's 187 on the pot of wash, that's dropped. Best parody I can think of so far. Okay. Prawn Ham Dance. Sunday episode. What? Yeah, Sunday episode. Why not? Because I didn't do an episode yesterday. They're really, I was snowed in. That's the best way I can describe it. I was snowed in. I mean, it wasn't like I was up to my neck in snow, but I mean, by the time I got around to cleaning it and everything like that, like I wasn't gonna do a show. I didn't, this old heart, because I did the front and the back of my house and everything like that, and so no. I'd have just been sweaty, out of breath guy for 2 hours, and that just would have been boring. Most likely, anyway. I don't know. Unless you guys just want to sit here and watch me just. Sofa Bear, it's actual object source lighting. Ramv at 6:15 here, PM. Ouch. John J, have to bounce all. Taking fam to see The Last Jedi finally. Holy man, you're finally going to go watch that? Holy man. Well, let me know what you think of it. Because I know a lot of people were like, it sucks. And a lot of people are like, it's awesome. I'm in the camp that I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. Is it everything I hoped a Star Wars movie could be? I'm going to have to say no. But then I really don't know what the end-all, be-all of Star Wars movies would be. So, right? Clayton Tate suspended for Sunday Suspenders. Maybe the suspenders are part of a Zardoz style, Sean Connery style bathing suit. If you don't know what Zardoz is, Google it. I mean, I'm sure everybody does. And I've actually watched the movie. Me and my brother-in-law one night, we were like, man, we got to see this movie. Zardoz. Look at this. It's got Sean Connery in it, man. This was back when it was still... Jeez, this was still back when it was VHS. Yeah. Yeah, it was VHS days still. And yeah, me and my brother-in-law said, let's get this movie. We're watching this sci-fi action at its best. And we were kind of half lit. And the movie, I was lost. I just remember the big giant stone hedges, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. In fact, it might have gave me nightmares, actually. It might have. I don't know. I can't remember. But I have seen the movie. I know I've watched it because I rented it. Somewhere in some lost data bank, there is a rental fee for Zardoz. Matthew Dammy, when will you shotgun that beer? When? You know what? I'm out of beer, actually. The old lady, she's taking, or the wife, I should say, not the old lady. The wife, she's actually off doing a little bit of groceries and stuff like that, and she's supposed to pick me up some beverages. So, soon. Dr. Zantos, 24/7 Way the Brush. Oh man, yeah. Well, yeah, because Quirk is going to be doing a 24-hour show. I think this Tuesday. I believe it's going to be on the Mini Wargaming channel. I think he's doing it through YouTube, and it's yeah, should be fun. He's basically getting ready for LVO, and so yeah. So if you guys want to harass him during that, because guaranteed by hour 10 he's going to be loopy. He's going to be loopy. I don't even think he finishes it. I think he's going to quit halfway through. He's going to freak out. He's going to have a hallucination. And he's gonna smack. He's gonna put his fist through his computer, and he's gonna take off, screaming into the night, kind of thing. Greenleaf Terrain. At Kris, I went on a date, but the girl noticed my nurglebum, and it didn't end so well. You know what? I kind of have a hard time imagining Adam with a nurglebum because Adam's so damn skinny, and I mean. Nurgle bums are big fat, nurgly bums, and yeah, I have a hard time because Adam is Adam is rail thin. Adam, when you see Adam in videos and he's looking head on, you can see him, right? But as soon as he turns sideways, he's gone, right? So if he's got a big nurgle bum, yeah, I guess it wouldn't end well because as soon as you went sideways, man, all she saw was that big nurgly bum with like a big pimple on it and everything like that, and maybe a boil and. Maybe other nurgling, peeking out. Ebb and Flow, Clayton, you win the chat with that comment. With the Zardoz. With the Zardoz bathing suit. Yeah, you guys don't want to see that, man. I don't know why. Don't know why people bring up bathing suits. You guys don't want to see us in bathing suits, man. You really don't. I can't imagine why anybody would just like willingly volunteer for something like that. I just can't imagine. Paul 0132. I clearly hate having time and money because I keep getting new armies. Sure. Aaron Seach, there he is. Hello, Kris. Hello, monkeys. Woohoo, Sunday show. Yes. Welcome, Aaron. Captain Benjicus? Benjicus? Sup, Monkey Master? Sup, Captain Benjicus? Benjicus? Benicus? Aaron Seach, I'm going to do the Alpha Legion 40k army with metallic blue color shift nail polish that shifts to metallic green, just waiting for better weather to paint outside. Awesome. That'd be awesome. You gotta send me pictures, dude. Send me pictures, man. Send me pictures. Rezio Wargaming, I like to mix my own colors when possible. This would be very true for Alpha Legion. Major downside being keeping the color consistent. Yeah, if you're doing like a color mixture, I would highly recommend getting yourself some bigger bottles. That way you can mix large amounts, especially if you're trying to do it like over a whole bunch of models. Mix up a large batch of the paint. And then once you get that color mixture in that paint the way you want it, then you got a large supply of it, and then you can confidently go through and, you know, and do an army. So that means if you got to buy, like, say 2 or 3 bottles of each color and mix it all into one kind of big pot, if you can find, you know, like a big jar for it, I would highly recommend that. If you've got a lot of models to do, yeah. Jim White, Christian Clean. Are we talking about lettuce? Aaron Seach, episode 187, Monkey Monk World. Monkey Monk World. Captain Benjicus, fishnet stocking? Am I wearing fishnet stockings? Am I wearing? Are you asking me if I'm wearing them? Am I wearing them? Jim White, Snowden, I thought you were a bellow. Ramsey, email? Yeah, email. Yeah, there's emails. We're going to do an email. This is Way of the Brush, isn't it? So yeah, we're going to do an email. What time are we at here? Holy man, it's already 12:31. Dark Commission. When it's really cold in Canada, do you wear 2 thin coats or 1 thick coat? One really comfortable coat, actually. But we wear, like, you know, maybe an undershirt, then a shirt, then maybe a sweater on top with our coat, and then with a scarf and a toque, and some gloves or mittens. Yeah, that's how we do it. 2 coats though? No, you don't do 2 coats. You don't do 2 thin coats, unless of course you know you're you know, your business casual maybe, and you got a blazer and your overcoat. Then of course you got 2 thin coats, right? But then yeah. Dr. Zantos, Kris, have you seen the Jar Jar Binks is a Sith Lord theory video? No, I have not. I don't think I have. Because if it said Jar Jar Binks, I tuned out. So no, I'm afraid I didn't. Johnny Shop at Kris. I am painter first, gamer maybe. I have a friend with a disability. He wants me to paint an army for him. What is tabletop quality? Hashtag over my head. What is tabletop quality? Tabletop quality is typically defined as basically a base coat, you know, picking out the details, maybe a shade wash, and a finished base, right? So, a tabletop quality, the way I would describe a very low-end tabletop quality that would still look good is base coat the model. So say for example it's a Blood Angel, okay? We base coat the entire model red. We pick out his guns and his little details and stuff like that, and his eyes and all that stuff. We pick all those details out. We give him a slight little shade wash or a recess shade where we just go in and pick out the recesses. We do his base, you know, we put like flock on it, or we take the texture paint and we lay that down and do the rim of the base if we want, or we could leave it black, whichever way you want to go. And then maybe throw the decal on the shoulder pad. Bang, he's done. He's done, right? So basically that would be tabletop, because the model would look finished even though there are actually no highlights on the model. The model would look finished. And that would be a very low-end tabletop job. And then going up the scales of tabletop would be, you know, adding your richer shadows and better highlights, and details are highlighted and such, you know what I mean? So, you know, it varies all the way up there until you hit tabletop or display type standards where, you know, every facet of the model is painstakingly highlighted and shaded, and details and textures, and you know what I mean, and you're doing a lot of freehands, and you know what I mean, that's more display type quality work. Tabletop basically would be just a base coat, pick out the details, do the base, and maybe throw the transfers on, and that's it. That would be a basic tabletop. Where am I? The comments moved. I don't know. So yeah, so hopefully, Johnny, that kind of helps. Bad Edge, what the hell? Kris on a Sunday? Yes, Kris on a Sunday, only whenever I feel like, you know, well, if I feel like doing the show, really. But because I missed yesterday, you know, I figured, well, you know, some of you guys are probably a little bit disappointed out there, and, you know, some of you probably don't even care, but, I mean, I'm sure some of you are like, Kris not doing a show? Well, whatever. But, yeah, Sunday, why not, you know? And, you know, I try to be consistent about doing the shows. If I miss a Saturday, then it probably will be on a Sunday. Unless, of course, I'm busy the entire weekend, in which case it's not going to happen regardless. But I'll usually try to tell you guys. And I kind of felt bad because I only put it out on Twitter that I wasn't doing a show. And I realized afterwards that I didn't do the Facebook thing, because I usually, if I do miss a show, I usually put it on Twitter, and I usually put it on Facebook, because I know a lot of you guys have that kind of stuff. But I don't have Facebook on my phone, just because I don't need it on my phone. I got it on my computers, and, you know, blah, 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 you know, so don't need it on my phone. So I already got the Messenger on my phone, but I don't, you know what I mean? Like, and so, meh. But anyway, we're doing a show. Why not? You know, and I'm at home, so I'm relaxed. You know, I didn't have to go nowhere. And as far as we know, I'm not wearing pants. Aquamaster, there he is. Well, just finished watching San Andreas. Anyway, what's up? What's up, San Andreas? Is that the disaster movie? Ugh. Jim White, the email song makes me glad I have earphones on. Aquamaster, yeah. Dr. Zantos, Kris, if interested, check Not for the Week on Discord. And for anybody who doesn't know, we have a Discord. Of course, you can go to waythebrush.com, and it'll be on the front page, and you'll see the link for Discord. I don't have my mouse for my other Discord, so I will check it out later. Unless, of course, it's something for right now, but I don't have my mouse handy, because I kind of have to rearrange my command center when I do this. So, Steve McDemon, hey y'all, bit late, made it in the end. Not the end. We're only quarter of the way through the show. Cocking 555. What a change of pace. Welcome. Patrick Walensky. When airbrushing, do you use dark color first and then go brighter, or the other way? Typically, if I'm going to do, say, something kind of zenithal kind of highlighting, you know, where you have the like realistic shadows and highlights and stuff like that. Typically, that's when we're talking zenithal, that's kind of what we're doing. Airbrushing is a really fantastic way of getting that done quickly. And typically, for a lot of things, yes, I do build the color up when airbrushing. Typically. I'm trying to think of an instance where I wouldn't. I recently did the Autark, and I had done his sword, and I had put the chrome metal on the sword, and the chrome metal is very, very bright. It throws back tons of light. And then I threw clear blue from Forge World, Calf Blue, I think it is. I threw that on just in the back of the blade, and just to create a slight gradient on the blade. And so that's essentially bringing it back a bit and bringing it a bit darker, right? And then I took Kalia green shade and added just a little bit more depth. So in that instance, I brought the color down So I started off very bright and I brought it down. That's the only other instance I can think of where you want to do that kind of thing. But really, building the color up or building the color down, it's really situational. And, you know, in most cases, though, I would say like at least 60% of the time, you're probably most likely going to build the color up, because you can lay a darker coat down on the entire model, and then you can come in and spray the highlight colors top down. And that will give you all your dark colors in the recesses. You can, if you've left the model off its base, you can give it, say, a mid-tone color, spray from the bottom the shadows, and spray from the top the highlight, and be done with it. It's really whatever kind of work process you want to do. They're really, you know, it's entirely up to you. It's entirely situational. You know, nobody's going to say, well, you did it wrong, you dummy, or anything like that. I mean, they're your models. You paint them how you want. It's your journey to figure out, you know, what really is the best, most efficient workflow for you. I can sit here and tell you how I do it, but for your situation, for your setup, it might not be the most efficient way of doing it. And so you might come up with a more efficient way. You might actually come up with a better way of doing things than me. And that's perfectly fine, and that's acceptable. In which case, you have to show me, because then I'll steal it. I'm not kidding, though. Send me. If you figure out something better, if you're doing something better than me, send me a link. Because I do like seeing when people progress. I do like seeing it. Like, you know, there's so many of you guys, like, you send in your pictures, and I can see you guys progressing, and it's fantastic. It's fantastic. I love it. That's why I really enjoy. It's a bit of an ego boost for me, I suppose, when I see you guys that I know, you know, you guys have been watching for a long time, and you guys are sending in your pictures, and I can see your paintings are getting better and better and better, and I take a small amount of pride in the fact that maybe it was something that a bit of advice I had offered you that made you a little bit better. And so, yeah, that's a small point of pride for me, I suppose. It boosts my ego. But my ego doesn't need any boosting. It's already off the charts. So hopefully, Patrick Wolinski. Hopefully that kind of answers your question. If not, you can always send me an email, a bit more clarification, I suppose, as to what might be troubling you, or, you know, what have you. But otherwise, yeah, you know, there's not really any wrong or right way to lay these colors down. I mean, other than too heavily. But then maybe you want to have texture in the model and, you know, bring something else to it, and, you know, so yeah. Aquamaster. Okay, question for the monkeys and the Monkey King. Would you recommend a start collecting set for Warhammer 40k or First Strike? I'm not sure what First Strike is, but if you're looking at the start collecting for Warhammer, I don't see anything wrong with that. No, I don't see anything wrong with that. Cocking 555. I love to kiss. I try to keep it to 3 colors. Okay. Steve McDevan at Patrick. It depends on what you want to achieve. For the camo, I do a light first and then possible, but the color modulation, you have to go dark first. Typically, yeah. Typically, I would say most people, they go dark up. They go start with the darkest and build up. But you could start with a mid-tone. Go up 1, come down 1, you know. Or start with the brightest and come all the way down. You know. Like I said, it's usually kind of situational, you know. But for the most part, people work dark to light. The bad edge. Still love you, Kris. Whatever. Ramby, show's name. I'm not wearing any pants. Eric Fountain, there he is. Good morning, Kris and the monkeys. And what a way to come in. Hearing Kris might not be wearing pants. Yeah, it's not exactly the, you know, top of the morning kind of start to the show, right? By the way, I'm not wearing pants. Johnny's Chop Shop. It's Star Wars trivia on Discord. Oh, really? Well, now I want to go. I don't have my other mouse because I have the Discord open on my other computer here, and damn you, could have played Star Wars trivia all afternoon. Where are we in the comments? I got lost now. Jeez Louise. Ebb and flow. 60% of the time, the technique Kris is describing works 100% of the time. But there's only a 10% chance of that. Kurt Krishon, a Sunday stream. What WTF? WTF, mate. Johnny's Chop Shop. Painted miniatures in the style of Bob Ross. Interesting. Basically, yeah, with Bob Ross style, I would want to do it with oil paints. Well, that reminds me, I had to bring oil paints into work because I have a question on oil paints, and I just remember that I should probably bring a set of oil paints in because somebody had left a question a while back, painting a miniature with oil paints, and I've been meaning to do it. I just haven't done it, and yeah, so might have to do it. Might have to, just might have to. Of course, like I said earlier, for all the Vault members out there, I'm currently working on an Eldari Autarch, and I'm gonna wrap him up like in the next day or so, and then it'll be a great unclean one. Rotigus. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do Rotigus. I'm gonna do him as quickly as possible. Yeah. And so, yeah, expect that. Expect it, kids. Expect it. Ramvi, honest, I don't like The Last Jedi very much. Don't tell the guys in the 501st. You know what? Like, I know, because I mean, like, the Gim is livid. You bring up Last Jedi, he flies right off the handle. He flies off the handle anyway, but, yeah, he didn't care for it at all. I don't know why. I don't know why people are so, like, the points that people bring up, I don't think so. I would have to disagree with a lot of the points and why people dislike the movie. I would have to disagree, and it's really kind of nitpicky. I think the director of The Last Jedi took a chance and did something different, and I'm glad he did. I'm glad he took that route. There's a few other things in the movie that are kind of like, oh, I just lost that window, and it's kind of baloney, but I mean, I'm not the director, and I don't make movies, so I'm not qualified to really offer up a really intelligent kind of argument for it anyway, but whatever. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie. Crap. Aquamaster at Kris. Look up First Strike set on Games Workshop site. Okay, I will. Z Prophet. What causes chalkiness, and is it possible for pots to go bad while it is sitting in the store? Well, to answer your second part of your question, is it possible for paints to go bad? It is possible for them to dry out, right? Going bad, right? Because that's what will spoil the paint. Although I've heard of some people saying that bacteria actually has gotten in there, but I mean that's from people opening the pots. And if the pot of paint, if it doesn't have that perforated plastic along the side, like if it looks like it's been broken, like somebody's opened it, then I wouldn't buy that paint. Or the owner of the store should exchange that because that bottle paint was crap, right? Somebody messed with it, and that's BS. But otherwise, what was the first part of your question again? Gee. Man, there's short-term memory. Oh, what causes the chalkiness? The chalkiness is typically when you're seeing the chalkiness, right? When you're dry brushing, right? That's when you're seeing it. Typically, when you're really seeing really bad chalkiness is two things. One, your base coat is not smooth. You've not built up a smooth base coat. Okay, now there's many ways to do it. It's not some advanced trick. It just takes a little bit of patience, a little bit of practice, and you can do smooth base coats in no time. Okay. The other part that it could be is that you've built up a lot of layers by dry brushing. So say, for example, you were building up on bright green from black, and you dry brushed, Dark Angels, and then Warpstone, and then Moot Green, and then Hellion Green, and then a bit of white, and then, you know what I mean? And that you dry brushed all those layers upwards, and that will give you a really, really chalky finish. But yeah, so that's a bit of a pain, but otherwise, yeah. So yeah, with the paint pots, yeah, they can go bad if somebody's prematurely opened them and exposed them to air, and it just kind of starts to dry the paint out. As long as those seals are good, the paint should last for quite a while. But it seems like GW has been swapping their paints around, because the names of the paints keep changing, and that makes me think that they're scooting out old colors and bringing in the new colors, replacing it with a different name, and they're, you know what I mean? Like, something weird going on there with the paints. I don't know, but anyway, yeah. And so for the chalkiness, yeah, it's either one, your base coat, or two, you're building up too many layers with your dry brushing. I often recommend, when you're dry brushing, only go up maybe 2 layers of color. 2 layers of color. And be very, very subtle in your dry brushing. Keep very, very little paint on the brush and dry brush up slowly. And that should be okay. So hopefully that answered your question. I can't remember who asked that question now. Who the hell asked that? Who the hell asked that question? Oh, Z Prophet. I'm gonna pop this window out because the chat's not staying up long enough here. And of course, it's changed the color on me now. Why would it do that? Why would it? Why does YouTube always want to make my life difficult? Pyre Captain Daniel, episode 187, pants, suspenders, or a Zardoz style bathing suit. Okay, I'm gonna have to go with Pyre Captain on that one. That one's pretty funny. There we go. Bang, boom, bis boom baw. There we go. That's the title of our show today. Is it pants, suspenders, or Zardoz style bathing suit? Hopefully it's the first one. Supercock 67. Sadly, I don't see an Autark being useful, especially when he lost more than half his gear. Autark on jet bike is still pretty darn good. Autark on jet bike is pretty darn good because you give him the lance. If you get him under Samhan, he gets that relic lance. You give him the warlord trait where nobody can overwatch him. You have him lead a unit of warlock conclave with a farseer backing him up, and you're talking about a pretty beefy unit that's gonna just smash its way through stuff. How do I know? Because I've done it. I've played with that unit. It's damn near 1,000 points, but it hits pretty damn hard. And of course, when you use your command points on a 6, you can get it back. It's a small consolation, but something, right? Greenleaf Train at Kris. Wow. Oh, was it the part of the whole me ripping on you? It's only out of love, Adam. It's only out of love. Come on, man. Come on, Adam. It's only love. It's only the kind of love that one male artist can have for another male artist. Now he's all creeped out in his apartment right now. He's like, no, Kris is going to be coming for me. No. Nasty jungle love. Congo. We cannot beat the First Order by beating the First Order. We beat them by having a poop romance develop in an hour. Yeah, I don't know why they did that. And I mean, I think the romance was only one-sided. Because I don't think Finn was into her. Right? She helped him and everything like that. She was kind of into him. She saw him as a hero, in that final moment, or at least we think so. I mean, she kind of like just clunks out. I mean, did she die or was, you know what I mean? Like, but anyway, you know, because I think the Finn and Rey thing is a little bit deeper. I think it's the Finn and Rey. Anyway, Cock King 555 with the brush 187. On Sunday, I'm Captain Underpants. If I was Captain Underpants, I'd have my Spider-Man underoos on my head right now, which I'm not going to do. But that's what happens. Superhawk 67. Star Wars EU better than Disney has come up with. Come on, Luke, walking in the dark to kill a clone Palpatine. Okay, what? Yeah, I don't know what's... oh, like with the expanded universe and stuff like that? Yeah. No. I mean, that could... like, you know, I mean... The old expanded universe stuff, I mean, it was interesting. It was, you know, and it was fun. But a little much. Discord Ook. Discord Ook? Or UK. Discord UK. Anyway, managed to pick up Hero Quest for £5. Would you keep it or sell it? It's 100% complete and unpainted. Oh my god, you picked it up for £5? That's up to you, dude. I mean, if you're not interested, I mean, it's a classic game. It's a collector's item. It's definitely a collector's item. If it's 100%, it's unpainted. Yeah. I know Ash has been teasing me with Hero Quest because he's got I think he's got like 2 or 3 complete sets, and he wants to do a big, you know, big game going on. And I was like, dude, I'm in. Count me in, man. I'm like, you know, but that was like 2 months ago, and I'm like, you know, he just did a show recently, and I was kind of like asking him about it, but I don't think I got an answer on it. But anyway, yeah. So I mean, it's a collector's item. That's up to you, man. I mean, you want to flip it for a profit, because if you picked it up for $5, guaranteed, I bet you could probably sell it for at least £75. Yeah, I would say at least 75 British pound. Basili, Simcoe, Kris, you and guys ever thought of doing more videos like mini wargaming or when the cats are gone? Yes, all the time. We had some really fantastic ideas. We just didn't really follow through. Sometimes we get really busy. Sometimes we get a little bit burned out. But yeah, we had some fantastic ideas for doing some more, you know, kind of comedy, kind of sketch kind of stuff, you know. We got tons of ideas, tons of them silly. A lot of them go past though what would be acceptable on mini wargaming though, unfortunately, because some of the stuff that we think is absolutely hilarious is not the kind of stuff that we could put on mini wargaming, and rightly so. I mean, like, you know, we have a certain level of you know, G to, you know, PG. It's mostly G, but with a little bit of PG kind of content on mini wargaming. And, you know, some of the crazy ideas we get, yeah, there are sometimes X, you know, so yeah, at least NC-17 at least, you know, so yeah. But we have ideas, don't worry. Yes, those ideas are always bubbling at the back of my brain. Not just my brain, everybody's brain. We were considered doing one. When the hell did we consider doing it? When boys took off to Valhalla? No. Oh, I think when Matt and Dave went to England. Yeah, when Matt and Dave went to England, we were thinking of doing one. But we didn't. We were gonna, but we didn't. The Bad Edge. Hero Quest is an absolute classic, going through a bit of a rebirth. Yeah. Eric Fountain, oh, Kris, and anyone else who remembers my rabbit hole question from last week about bringing paint back that was frozen. A lot of my Vallejo and Army Painter have become usable again, but my Tamiya isn't. Interesting. With your Tamiya, if you hit it, do you have any of the Tamiya thinner? Maybe you want to try a drop or two to try and reactivate it. Or maybe a spot, like a drop or two of alcohol, and just try and, you know, reactivate it. You might want to try that. I don't know. Ramviet Kris, I've just gotten to start collecting Slaves of Darkness. How do you get that dark, but still glowing armor? Abaddon Black mixed with Lead Belcher? The Slave of Darkness, how do you get that dark, but still glowing armor? I'm not sure what you're talking about. You have to send me an example of what you're talking about. I'm not sure exactly what kind of glow we're talking about here. So if you could send me a picture, dude, of what you're talking about, yeah, I'd be happy to try and deconstruct it a bit. Matthew Demi, Kris, how do you make the perfect balls to go on IG tank turrets or heads? I want to take Cadians and make them space balls. Matthew at Kris, love equals just the tips. Just the tips, yeah. Make it just a tip, making a space ball. Yeah, I can easily see how to do Cadians as space balls. Yeah, I can see it. It's good. It just requires a bit of green stuff and just shaping, you know, a little blob on their helmet, because their helmets already just have their face squared out, right? And so all you would have to do is just build a nice round dome over that head. If you're going to be like really kind of efficient in your use of time, I would do, say, 1 or 2 heads, sculpt the helmet, cast them, and then that way you didn't have to sculpt, you know, like 150 dudes. You know, you could just cast them and make a whole bunch. Idea. Ebb and flow at Kris. Was that a Harlan Williams reference? No. Johnny Shop at Eric Fountain. Tamiya is solvent-based acrylic paint. Yes. Yes, it is. It's an acrylic paint, but it's not water-based. It's not like GW or P3 or Vallejo or, you know, the usual kind of paints we use. Jacob Benedict at Kris. Finally got to watch a live show from State College, Pennsylvania. Well, welcome. Hopefully you're enjoying yourself. Hopefully you're not terribly disappointed. You're sitting there, oh man, tuned in live? What a knucklehead. Lewis, Triarch, Praetorians, or Lichguard? I only have 1 box, and I'm not sure which unit to go for. Now that I do not know. I often hear more people talk about Lichguard than Praetorians, so Lichguard? I don't know. I'm afraid I just could not offer any excellent advice in that regards, because I don't play Necrons and I don't really know Necrons that well, and I've only ever faced Necrons once or twice anyway. The Deblet, holy crap, the Deblet. It's a long time since I've read that name. Hi there. Hi. War Budgies, morning everyone. Morning War Budgie. Yuri Rovia. Pick both boxes and kit bash them into counts as both unit or something. Like give them elements of both units. Sure, why not, right? Gets a little confusing though. Z Prophet, I got a knock on the door. As you answered my question, I'll watch the vid, I guess. Yeah, or you can just kind of go back in the stream and then catch back up. Of course, I don't know where that was, but, you know. I did answer your question, Z. I think. I don't know. Let me know if I answered your question, actually. You can tell me if I answered your question, I guess, is really what it boils down to. Lewis, that's a good idea, actually. Okay. Oh, the building them both together? Yeah, sure. Discord UK. I think I'm doing that right. Or is it Ook? I don't know. It's my second complete copy. I've painted the first copy, and I think the second is untouched. Currently working through my Blood Bowl Orc team. Question on that, how would you highlight the black? Oftentimes it's a lot of black, right? Black, I mean, you can always go. There's 3 ways you can go. Well, like there's more than 3 ways. 3 of my favorite ways to highlight black is 1, build up with grays, right? Start off Mechanicus standard, or well, Eshin gray, Mechanica Standard, Dawnstone. You know what I mean? I really wouldn't push further than Dawnstone, because then you're starting to get really bright on the edges and it's starting to look more gray. Whereas if you keep the color, if you keep the gray kind of subdued, then it all still feels very black. And of course, if you keep the highlights very, very minimal, it'll still feel very black. The other way I like to highlight black is throw in Ushabti Bone or Screaming Skull and bring the highlights up that way. So go with a mixture of, say, like 4 black to 1 bone or Screaming Skull, and then it's 3 to 1, then it's 2 to 1, and about that point, if it's, you know, just along the edges, it's getting a little bit brighter, then it's fine. And that actually adds a very kind of creepy kind of quality to the black as well, because it adds a little bit of a brown as well as that white quality into it. It gives it a kind of black, kind of a warm kind of feeling, and so it's actually a fun one to do. Another way I'm a huge fan of is by using turquoise, which is a blue-green. And that's a fun one because that gives you the blue-black kind of quality. Blue-black. 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 That's a word. Blue-black. And if you don't have any other colors other than Abaddon Black or Abaddon Black, and you have Sotek Green, and you go, say, 4 to 1, 3 to 1, 2 to 1, 1 to 1, you know what I mean? And you can build it up like that. Of course, if you have access to more colors, it's Incubi Darkness, Stegodon Scale Green, Dark Reaper is a good one as well. And it'll kind of get you those kind of similar kind of results as well. So hopefully, Discord, that answers your question. That's three quick kind of ways to get it done. Of course, you could always do browns. You could always throw in reds, greens. You know what I mean? You can throw in any color to black and bring it up. You know what I mean? And it really is, how do you want to highlight it? And how far do you want to push that highlight? If you still want it to feel like black, don't push that color too far, you know? And keep your highlights very, very minimal on that surface. And, you know, you'll end up with a very pleasing kind of result. It'll feel, you know, it'll still feel like black. And that's predominantly what you want to do, right? Is you want to still feel that appropriate color. Bleep bloop. Hey everyone, I've made it. Only a little late. You're only a little late. Holy crap, it's already after 1. Holy man, I gotta get an email done or 2. Knitfink at Kris. Any more thoughts on the Patreon perks? Don't know if you saw my paint along suggestion. I did see your paint along suggestion. I was the first one to give it a little heart because I did like the idea. It was a fantastic idea. I was kind of saving it for, you know, I don't know, other kind of discussions. I was thinking about, you know, kind of discussing it back and forth on Discord. I think really Discord has kind of become our medium for, you know, bouncing all our ideas back and forth off each other. So yeah, offhand, I couldn't give you an answer as to your suggestion because I remember it being very, very good about, crap, I'm gonna have to pull it up now. Otherwise I'm gonna look like an asshole. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up my Patreon and scroll down to Knitfink's excellent idea. Yeah, so we had a few votes. Most of the votes for the Patreon people were what got the most votes was behind the scenes. So more behind the scenes stuff. I would assume like behind the scenes from what I'm doing, what's going on around the office. I think is really what you guys want to see. I'd imagine that's what the Patreons want to see. And so those are the kind of things that I think what I'll do is I'll do those just for the Patreon. Is you know, I'll try and create a little bit more kind of just candid type video. But Knitfink and Jabba's Left Nut also had like an excellent idea as well. Knitfink, what you suggested, yes, is a paint along. Oh yes, there's a paint along. Yes, I did like this idea, and it's something that I've wanted to try. And which is why I wanted a lot of people to identify as Patreon members. I remember I had made a post-it about tell me who you are in Discord as if you're a Patreon member. That way I can change your status, because that way you could join me in the private channel on Discord, and that way we could do, you know, more like a Skype conference kind of call kind of thing, and then we could all do a paint along. And I thought that was you hit it right on the head with that suggestion, and that was initially what my idea was for that private one-on-one channel, because that private one-on-one channel in Discord only Patreon people who are identified as Patreon supporters, they only have access to that. And so I was thinking that would actually be a really good one to try and get everybody on Discord who are Patreon supporters, so that I can appropriately tag them in that, and so that we could all hang out on Discord and do paint-alongs and do whatevers and do just kind of maybe even kind of class type sessions where, you know, you guys can, you know, we can get more involved with, you know, what we're working on. Maybe, you know, so maybe you get to share what projects you're working on, because I know some of the stuff you're working on, I'm sure, is going to be really awesome, because your last email with the Harlequins and stuff like that, that was just awesome stuff. So yeah. But yeah, I did see your suggestion. I did see Jabba's Left Nuts suggestion as well. Both really awesome suggestions. And yeah, I would really like to implement them somehow. Mad Cow Crazy. Basically, you can drink GW paint, but I don't suggest you do it with Tamiya. No, don't. Prophet. Z Prophet. Tamiya being sulfur-based typically explains why my clear red congeals while my other acrylics flake. Interesting. War Budgies. Big takeaway from today. You can drink GW paint. Ace. Please don't. Please don't. And at least, for God's sakes, don't tell them I told you to do it. Don't leave it in a note saying, yeah, Chris Bello from waythebrush.com told me I could drink my paint and blah, blah, blah. And, Pierre-Luc. I'm fairly inexperienced painter, and I often find myself doing several layers, 6 to 8, and still my models are filled with inconsistencies such as brush strokes. What newbie mistake is often the cause? When you're okay, here's I'm gonna lay it really simply for you. When you're laying your brush strokes down, okay, and I've said this many times before in other previous videos and painting tutorials, and I'll say it many more times. When you're laying your base coats down, make sure you thin them down. I often prefer to use mediums to thin the colors down, but you can use water just the same. Just don't over water it, because then it stops acting like paint and it actually breaks down the viscosity of the paint and it kind of beads up. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when you have, like, you know, it just beads up, right? You don't want that. You want the paint to still cover like paint. When you lay your brushstroke down, it stays there, right? So when you're thinning your colors down and you're laying it on the model, you don't want to overload your brush. You want to have just the appropriate amount of paint on your brush. So just draw it through your palette once, and you should be working from a palette so that you can control how thin and thick your paints are. And when you lay your brush stroke down on the model, be conscious of how you're moving your brush on that surface. So if it's a Space Marine shoulder pad and you're bringing your brush strokes downwards on the shoulder pad, so you're starting here and you're going chunk, 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 chunk all the way around, let that dry completely, as complete as you possibly can let it, and then come across each portion, just like a printer. You know how a printer just goes back and forth across the paper? Well, imagine your hand is like that printer, except you're going 1, 2, 3, you know, doing that way, and then the next layer is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? It's going across like that, and then that layer, and then you let that layer dry, and then you come back and you go 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? And so about 3 or 4 layers like that, and should give you a nice smooth base coat. As long as your color's nice and thin, not too thin. Like I said, I often recommend using medium, because that way, even though you could take the paint beyond that really kind of saturated kind of point where it looks more clear, at least then it still acts like paint and you can still manipulate it in such a way. But otherwise, yeah, so you want to, it's like cross hatching, if you're familiar with that term. And it's bringing your brush strokes down, and then you bring your brush strokes across, and then down, and then across. And you can do that, you know, you can do it 6 or 8 times, but I would say about 3 or 4 times should be enough to get a smooth base coat on that surface. The whole reason for that is because when you are bringing those brush, imagine like my fingers, right? And it's moving across the surface. Well, you're leaving tiny little divots, right? It's just like how a plow moves through a field and you can see all the little pits and valleys in the field. that surface of the paint is doing that. And so why that is important to make it smooth is because when we dry brush, the dry brushing catches the tops of those points, and that's what gives us that chalky appearance. That's why we want to do a smooth base coat, because whatever kind of highlighting we do later on, it's going to be smooth. And that's why we want to do a smooth base coat. It all begins at the beginning. When you're cleaning your model, you want to make sure you get rid of all those mold lines and stuff like that. When you prime, you want to make sure you don't over prime and put too much primer down, because then that can provide too much of a texture, and it actually acts like almost like paper, where it just kind of soaks up the color, and you don't want that. The primer is only just to sit barely on that surface to provide a surface for the paint to grab hold of, and that's it. That's all primer is for. So there are many factors. Don't get discouraged. Just be patient and work through it, and know that even though you're at the beginning, don't get discouraged that you're not a master right off the hop, because nobody is. Nobody's a master at this right from the start. Nobody, especially younger people. And this stuff is an excellent way of establishing patience and concentration. So hopefully, Pierre, that kind of helps. The Deblet. Yeah, I know, Chris. Sorry I neglected you. That's all right, Deblet. I'm surviving. I will survive. Anyway. Sorry, I'm just thinking of when I was playing Steve in that last battle report there on his channel. And we were playing another game for mini wargaming. And he gets really ahead of himself, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta go back. I gotta go back to what I mean." We're into the assault phase. Oh, I forgot to do a psychic power. It's like, oh no, it's. I was thinking because I was thinking of the Huey Lewis song, from Back to the Future. Gotta go back in time. I was singing that every time he did it to me. And I was just like, come on, man. Oh wait, I forgot to do this. Oh, we're in the assault phase. Oh, I forgot to move this guy. Oh, come on. It's all right though. It's all right. It's all in good fun. Evan Flo, blue black is Superman hair in comics. Yes, that's oftentimes how they do. Yeah, the highlights. But you'll see some people who have, like, if you see some people, they have really black hair, and the sunlight hits it, and it almost looks like you see like a blue tinge. Sometimes my hair ends up looking like that, like in the sunlight, you can see almost like a blue tinge in the dark points. Then sometimes in my hair, like my face hair, no, my face hair goes brown red. It's like red. There's a bit of Scottish in the family, I think. Lewis. Anyone else found the newer Citadel dry metallics to be very kindly go kind of strange in texture? I had Necron compound for less than a week, and it became strange, rubbery, chunky texture. The dry paints are chunky. They're designed that way. It's like paint that is dried up, but it's not. But that's the way it acts, and that's the way it's supposed to be, because it's really saturated in pigment. It's a very high pigment to acrylic resin binder or whatever. That's just the way they formulate it. It's intended to be that thick, and you just dunk your dry brush in, wipe the excess off, and yeah, it really, you don't need much on your dry brush, and wipe that excess off and hit the miniature, and bang, there's tons there. That's because there's just so much pigment in it. But that's the way they designed it. It's supposed to be chunky like that. Now, if it's really kind of chunky and hard, then no. If it feels more like Jello, or like I'm trying to think of like a dessert, like meringue or something, where it's chunky and jiggly, but it still breaks apart really easily. If it's still doing that, that's what it's supposed to do. But if it's like hard and you can't penetrate it, then yeah, no, something's wrong. Jacob Benedict, Chris just sent an email. What are your thoughts on paint job? Awesome. Okay. Speaking of that, yeah, we should probably get to an email, because holy crap, it's already 20 minutes after 1, and this show is only a 2-hour show, and I've been sitting here babbling on. I'm just quickly skimming through these comments here. Dark Commission, how do you get the Patreon designation on Discord? As I just appear in the general list when online, I use the same ID for everything. Dark Commission and everybody else who is a Patreon supporter of me on Patreon in the Discord, send me a message on Discord that you are a Patreon. Give me your email address that would show up in the Patreon as whoever the Patreon, like whatever your account name is on Patreon. Give me that name so that I can, confirm, and then that way I'll switch your status. I think myself and maybe my administrators could switch you over to Patreon, but just send me the message because then I'll do it and I'll get you all set up, and because I've made it so that there are more special permissions for my Patreon supporters. Just a little extra benefit, But yeah, I think definitely the first thing is a bit more behind the scenes type stuff. Some more raw footage. But I'm warning you guys now. I might have to have an 18-year-old limit on my channel because it gets pretty raw. It's raw. And it might get offensive. Because it's kind of like you play the nice guy on TV and everything like that, and then he's sitting there in the corner smoking cigarettes and he's abusing women, and I'm not saying it's like that, but Aaron Seach, my biggest issue with painting is time. Working full time and college full time tend to cut into my painting time pretty bad, but I'm determined to bring 2,000 points of Space Marines and Orcs to Adepticon. Yeah, but you don't live too far away, so it's okay, I think. I mean, you're still a hoof away. I mean, it's like, what, 4 or 5 hour drive? For us, it's a 9-hour drive. We're all coming this year, apparently. We're all going to Adepticon. Hilarity will ensue. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, Aaron, I mean, you just gotta, find your time, I mean, like I always say, like real life takes precedence, right? And family. Well, real life and family are the same thing. So those take precedence, right? So if you don't got time, you don't got time. That's okay. There's always next week. There's always next week. You never know. You might get a day off and then you go, the kids are gone. I'm going to paint. And then you just sit down and paint, Don't sit there and, plop yourself in front of the computer or the TV and turn on Netflix, Say, you know what, damn it, I'm going to get some painting done. And, head into your cave and, yeah. Pierre-Luc, definitely we'll have to try that. Okay. Sofa Bear, what is your favorite Sigmar 40k, 30k army to paint? I don't have a favorite army. Sigmar, I don't have any of the Sigmar. The Dwarf Slayers almost had me in the Sigmar. I would, if I was gonna like right now, if I was gonna jump into Age of Sigmar, it would probably be the Slayers. I'd probably play Slayers. I wish there was a Bretonnian faction. I don't know. After I did the Chrome on the Stormcast Eternals, I actually kind of thought a whole Chrome Stormcast Eternal army would actually look really, really cool. 40k, my favorite army to paint, Eldar. I love my Eldar. 30k, Space Marines. Well, like I said, Alpha Legion's a really fun color scheme. Thousand Suns a really fun color scheme. Death Guard's a fun color scheme. Oh, excuse me. That's it. I think. Yeah. I think that's it. Bat94, late to the party. Had to play hockey. Well, that's okay. Clayton Tate, email time? Yes, email time. It is email time. Let's do that. Bat94, we have a Way of the Brush Adepticon event planned on Discord. If anyone else doesn't know yet, I got an Eldari Lamborghini on Discord. If anybody else wants to join in. Yeah, of course. That's the other one. Yeah. I don't know. Do we have a Matt? Do we have a link for everybody to go who's going to anybody who's going to Adepticon? Is there a link on the thing for going to the thing for you, for the channel that you had made for the Adepticon thingamabob? Or no, I made a Facebook post. That's right. I made a Facebook post sending people to that. That's right. Sigmunds. What's up, guys? I'm late. Like you're late? Like when your girlfriend comes over to your house and says, I'm late? Is that what you mean? In the middle of the night, and she goes, you know what? I'm late. And you're like, uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, my. Anyway, it's email time. Slap your headphones on. Here we go. Email time. It's email time. Oh, man. I don't know. It's being goofy, I guess. This email is from Nick Dumas, making a Dimetrodon out of a cheap toy with some paper clips, tracing paper, and Elmer's glue. And so, here is his efforts. Dimetrodon. That is it. Paper clips in the back. Cuts them off. Arrays them in a nice spine-like arrangement. And then bang. And what do you say he used? Paper? Yeah, tracing paper and Elmer's glue. Oh. That's tracing paper and Elmer's glue, people. Look at that. Look at that. He's converted this dinosaur. So I'm going to assume he is going to paint this up. I would assume. I mean, you know what happens when you assume. But either way, very cool. Thank you, Nick, for sending that in. That's awesome. I look forward to... Oh, I guess I should switch back to main cam there. Don't need to be showing everybody my email correspondence. It's okay. There's nothing wrong there. Oh, crap. Showing everybody's emails. Damn it. Anyway. This is from Zach, a.k.a. Eldari Lamborghini. Hello, Monkey Lord. Here is a long-awaited update from me on my Kit Bash Green Stuff Autark. The first two pictures are of the Autark I painted many, many moons ago when I was a young monkey for comparative purposes. The remaining three are of the new Autark for my army. The Autark is made up of the following: Shadow Spectre legs and cloth, Dire Avenger weapons, Dire Avenger torso with green stuff, Dark Eldar Scourge wings, Dire Avenger Exarch plume, and Eldar Corsair helmet. Tried some new techniques. Let me know what you think. Cheers, Zach, aka Eldari Lamborghini. And so here is his Autark. This is the regular Autark. I believe this is the default. Yeah, this is the older version, I think. I don't know if you can get this one anymore. No, because I think this guy's fine cast. But anyway, nice paint job. Looks good. I think I had shown a video recently of like making like the little boo-boos of like, you know, getting paint like on the feathers and such, using a shade wash and just kind of clear that up. Just some of the areas, you know, you can see how some of the bone is hitting some of the blue. You can kind of camouflage that with some shade wash where you just kind of help create a little bit of separation in there. Oh yeah, I like this guy. This is really cool. I like the color scheme too. This color scheme is very interesting. I like the green and purple. Like they're really kind of desaturated, kind of foresty, kind of camo green with the darker purple like that. I like that. I like the helmet. I like the whole conversion. It's really, really cool. Big feathery wings. Gives him that whole kind of angelic kind of look. I really like it. It's very fun. It's a good conversion. Lots going on. Did I show that all correctly? I did. Yeah. I like the colors on the wings too. Like there's a lot of colors going on actually, where you have blues, you have the reds, you have the black and the purples. At least I think it's purples. Is it purples? Maybe I'm not seeing that right. It looks like it's got like a purplish tinge to it, but anyway. You would think something like that, where you have this many colors at play, that, you know, it wouldn't work, but overall it does, because the colors are so dark. And you have these really kind of brighter elements where the red and the wings are the contrasting points to the dark points of the helmet. And because the green is not a very vibrant green, you know, it doesn't really, you know, fight with the other colors. Like the robes are essentially this red orange, right, with this dark green, which, you know, should have this kind of Christmassy kind of color scheme to it, but yet it doesn't. And so it's really good. Yeah, I like it, man. I like it. I think it was a good transition from the plume to the helmet, because I can, like, right at the bend I can see there's a slight angle there where the two meet up, but otherwise, like, it's still a really good blend between the two. Like, it's almost seamless, and it's really, really good. No, dude, I like it. It's a good conversion. It's fun, and it fits. It fits the motif of the army, you know. So, awesome. Thank you for sending that in, Eldari. Really great stuff. Let's do another one. Damn it. Showing people's emails. This is from Logan. Hey Chris, I was wondering how you would go about painting black Space Marine armor as if during a night mission. Same with the heraldry, which is going to be white. Basically, how would you paint a miniature as if it was surrounded in shadows? Thanks. That's kind of a challenging kind of thing, because you're kind of asking about, like, and it's really kind of an environmental kind of question, right? Like, it's surrounded in shadows, and, you know, if you wanted to go for, like, this really kind of stealth-like kind of look, you could go with, say, black, and how I described highlighting black earlier, you know, the three ways, which I'm fancy for, which is, you know, either going in light grays, going with bone, or going with turquoise, right? Whichever way you go, I think what would really help is if you keep a very matte appearance on the miniature, and any symbols on the miniature, you do them a bit darker. So if they're supposed to be white, you do them like off from the armor. So, like, for example, let's just say, for example, the armor is Abaddon black, and the icons themselves would be more like Mechanicus standard gray. So they're very, very subdued. Like, you can see them. Like, imagine, like, you know, like Raven Wing, where they're black, but they got that wing motif on their armor where it's a strong white. Well, imagine if it was a really subdued gray. Or, you know, if you go with Ushabti bone, then it's more of this deeper bone color. If it's turquoise, and it's a much deeper turquoise color. You know what I mean? Like, it's a very deep color. So that they have this very stealth-like appearance to them. You give them a very matte kind of paint job, but then give the base a bit of a satiny kind of look. I wouldn't go with a dark base. You can go with, like, a mid-tone base, like a gray or something like that. Keep your highlights very minimal on the armor for the Space Marines. Just go with strong edge highlights, just very minimally, corners and stuff like that. Don't go hog wild with bright colors and stuff like that. We're taking the transitions too far. But yeah, that would give you this kind of stealth marine kind of vibe, I think. I initially was thinking of more of like this carbon black, where you have like these matte and gloss elements. But realistically, I think if it was a stealth marine, he wouldn't have any kind of elements that would give him away. He would have completely blackened kind of armor, like just charcoal matte black. You know, it's just coal black. You know what I mean? So that no light escapes the armor. It's just, you know what I mean? And it's just dark. You can still have highlights and stuff like that, like definition, because it's still got to look good on the tabletop, right? It's still got to convey that. But otherwise, yeah, having the armor, you know, like he's surrounded in shadows. That's more like you're describing more of like a diorama type setting where he's in this setting, and you're trying to paint like the shadows of stuff on him, and yeah. Although I guess really, I mean, you could imitate that look on the Marines by painting the gaps of light of where leaves would be. But it's almost, it would almost look like a black on black kind of camouflage pattern. It might be interesting. Of course, you know, it might not. It might be difficult to convey that level of what you're trying to intend to create there, you know. But thank you, Logan, for sending that in. Hopefully that kind of answers your question. If it didn't, send me another one, just kind of clarifying exactly the kind of look you're going for. Like if it's something from a book or if it's from a movie, you know what I mean? Like what kind of sorry, I'm bumping elbows here and stuff. You know, what kind of vibe it is you're looking for exactly. Because, you know, I mean, if I can imagine it, then, you know what I mean? Like then I can, you know, I can get a better sense of how I would create it and then convey it to you, kind of thing. Where am I in these comments here? Oh man, I have no idea where I am. Alex O, can't believe I caught you live. Just saying hello. Love your work, Chris. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you, Alex, and welcome to the show. And hopefully you get to tune in more often. Z Prophet, is there a generic, or am I looking for an alternative to green stuff? Places near me don't carry green stuff in particular. Well, yeah, exactly. Bleep Bloop saying advice is right there. Needite or needitite. Anyway, it's a 2-part epoxy. That's what it is. That's all green stuff is. It's a 2-part epoxy. There's nothing special about it. You'll find it in gray, white, blue, green, black and white, I think is another one. Anyway, they might have varying hardnesses or varying cure times, but they're all essentially the same stuff. In fact, I think why a lot of artists use green stuff is because it has a longer working time, I believe. Whereas I think like the white and gray or the white and brown has a shorter working life. It actually cures quite quickly. But anyway, yeah, that's the stuff. Bleep Bloop says he grabbed his off Amazon and eBay. You can usually find it in any kind of big box hardware stores, stuff like that. 2-part epoxies. Make sure you're getting like the ribbon kind, not the liquid kind. It's not liquid epoxy. That stuff's just kind of hard to work with. Pain in the butt. But yeah. So hopefully Z Prophet that helps. If not, anybody else can help Z Prophet find an alternative to Needite or cheaper version of it or larger stockpile of it. Yeah, because everybody else, like, there's one company I think that produces that red blue, and everybody else just buys it off them in bulk, and then they mark it up. So if you can find Needite on the cheap, which I'm sure you can, by all means, go for it. El Dury Lamborghini, thanks for the feedback, Chris. The blue purple is the midnight blue, I believe. It's almost like a blue pen ink in color. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Oh, yeah. We were talking about that. That's right. Yes, because it's the old midnight blue, because the old midnight blue, I think, for Citadel was another color you had, I think, right? Or something like that. And because it used to be the blue that had that it dried with that red tinge. Yeah, that's right. And I remember I was telling you about the color, which will give you the same thing. Yes. Johnny Chop Chop at Chris, your genius painting with no pants on is quite liberating. FYI, the hobby shop owner doesn't like it at all. Alex, though, my opinion on pulling off loan ideas is to have light sources, then confer. Even weak light and color. Okay. Knitfink at Z Prophet. There's also Procreate. Sculpting putty, to me, it has more of a papery feel than green stuff does. A papery feel. So it dries with kind of like a slight texture, like say almost like say like clay or something. Is that what you mean by like a papery feel? Like it has a slight texture to it? Because I know green stuff, like I can work that like smooth. Like I can make that as smooth as like a piece of plastic card, just from a bit of water in my finger and just kind of smoothing it out. But yeah, interesting. Procreate. I think I've heard of that stuff because I know like there's milliput. I have some milliput around here somewhere. Anyway, there's milliput, needite. I think there's another one. Anyway. The name escapes me. I always end up just using needite anyway because it's so readily available. At least where I am, anyway. Sorry, I'm just trying to hold off a sneeze here. Dark Commission. If you're desperate, you can go to a motor spare shop and get the stuff for bodywork repair. Yeah, it's essentially the same stuff. B&Q UK does some sort of thing for repairing readers, etc. Quite cheap. It's a 2-part. Yeah. Aaron Siege, Kris, have you had a chance to play with the chameleon color shift paints from Green Stuff World? No, I have not. I haven't even ordered that stuff yet. I'm seeing some of the videos that they produced, and I wasn't terribly impressed. I'm not impressed with the luminance of it, but maybe it's just the way they're filming it. I don't know, but they're not selling me on that from their videos. And I've seen some other people's stuff on it, and it doesn't. And they seem to be having difficulty getting a nice luminance of color from it. I don't know. It might be dichromatic paint in acrylic form might not work very well. It might be in the realm of solvent-based. Because just like metallics, right? Metallics in solvent-based paint lines are much more richer than acrylic paint lines. Maybe that's just, the weakness of that particular medium, right? That particular medium. It's just acrylic paint, water-based acrylic paint. It's just hard to get those kind of effects. Whereas solvent-based paints, but the way they're formulated and chemically, they work better, like All-Clad and Spastics and Tamiya and, you know what I mean? Like all their metallic lines and stuff like that are just rich metallics. Like Vallejo. Vallejo has the solvent-based silver and metal, and I think it's like a bronze and a darker metal or something like that. They're solvent-based paints. They're not water-based acrylics. You have to cut them with alcohol to use them, but they lay on beautifully because they're solvent-based and they come back with so much luminance. You know what I mean? Like, so it might be just a weakness of the medium. It's not going to happen, right? So I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to order the paints anyway and see and just try them out myself, and you know what I mean, like, but yeah. Sofa Bear, are you secretly Alfarius? Dr. Xantos, no, he's openly Alfarius. No, I don't really identify with Alfarius. I don't know. Around the office, the boys have already worked out. If we were the Primarchs, who everybody would be. Apparently, I'm Lionel Johnson. So, if you're wondering what Primarch I would be in 30K, apparently I'm Lionel Johnson. That's what the boys keep telling me. I'm Lionel. So, I don't know. I don't see it either. Discord, thanks for the black highlight tip. I will rewatch again and make notes. Is it possible to do a whitewash for shading white? Yes, you can make a white one. It's not a whitewash, but you can make a wash for shading white without going to Nuln Oil or any of those other shade washes. What you need is Liquitex Flow Aid, okay, or any other kind of flow improver. Reaper has a flow improver. Liquitex has one. Golden, I believe, makes one. Typically, it's a lot of artist grade type of stuff that you'll find these flow improvers. God, why do I think that Formula P3 has one? Anyway, it's a medium. It's not a paint. It's a medium. It's flow improver. I use Liquitex because it comes in a nice big bottle. It cost me like $10. I've only used like a centimeter of the stuff, and I use the stuff all the time. And it's because you only need like a drop or two in your solution for what you're making, and that's it. Now, typically, whenever I'm going to shade wash white, if I want, like, it depends on what kind of tone I want. If I want a cool white or a warm white, it all depends, right? Typically, when I'm going cool white, I'll often break down either like Thunderhawk Blue or Dark Reaper. Yeah. And what I'll do is typically I will base coat the area. If I'm going to paint it white, I'm going to base coat it in Celestia Gray or Uthran Gray. Shade wash with either Thunderhawk Blue or Dark Reaper. Break that down into a shade wash. So what I'll do is I'll take a large amount of medium, a little bit of the color paint, drop or two of Liquitex Fluid, mix it all into a shade wash, and then apply that to the white area and allow it to build up onto the model like a shade wash would, where you know how it creeps into all the details. That's what it'll do. That's what that Liquitex Fluid will do for your color. It'll make it creep into all those recesses. It breaks that viscosity down so it doesn't stay on the surface, and it goes for all the little recesses and such. I'm not sure why I'm illustrating like this, but anyway, I've shown it many, many times in quick tips and in other painting tutorials. So I don't know if I've ever shown it like on its own as like a specific thing, but I might have. But anyway, it's just making your own shade wash. And you can, and once you have Liquitex Fluid, you can turn any color that you have, any color, even inks, even drawing inks, you can turn those into shade washes and just use them however you want. Now, mind you, it won't work for oil paints because oil paints and acrylics are completely different things. So don't do it for oils. But yeah, you can, as long as you got Liquitex Fluid or any kind of flow improver. That's typically with the product. In a pinch, they say you can use a drop or two of dish soap detergent, and use a drop or two of that and add that to your paint, and that'll do the same kind of thing. I really don't like that idea, but in a pinch, if they really had to pull it off, that's what you use. Although I really wouldn't, because I mean, shade wash, typically you're agitating it a lot and it's going to build up suds, and you know what I mean? So I wouldn't do it. But yeah. Hopefully, Discord, I've been calling him Discord. It's Disco Duke. Man, I'm an idiot. Name butcher. Anyway, it's Disco Duke. Oh, I'm such a moron. Anyway, yeah, typically that's what I do, buddy. Disco Duke. Disco Duke. Discord. Oh, man. I have my freaking head examined. Man. Z-Profit, paper clips and Neatite for stretch models, I guess. Yeah. If you're a sculptor, dude, if you can sculpt, man, send me pictures of, like, if you can sculpt. I've been talking with some of you viewers from Mini Wargaming from, like, you know, years ago might remember the Overseer of All from some of the videos. His name is Jordan, Mini Wargamer Jordan. And I've been talking with him lately. He's been showing me his sculpting efforts lately, and I gotta say, I'm impressed with his efforts. I didn't know he could sculpt. I didn't know he could sculpt. And when I cite examples of people using whatever paints to good effect, this kid is also a person I'm thinking of, because he does really good paint jobs with like regular kind of Walmart brand hobby paints, and his paint jobs look really good. And you know, again, it's not the medium, it's the artist, you know. And yeah, he's just one of those cats that, you know, just continues to surprise me, how, you know, creative he is. Not that I think he's a dummy or anything like that, but I mean, you know, just a creative dude. Anyway. Z-Profit, do you ever make your own paints straight from pigments? No, not really, because I mean, not necessary. If I was going to make my own paint line, then yes, I would. You know, if I was going to do my own homebrew paints, if I was going to, you know, go grab a whole bag of pigment and a bunch of medium and formulate my own perfect blend of colors, sure. Do I feel it necessary to do that? Not really. You know, it's just not necessary. You know, if a paint company was said, Kris, we want to make a particular brand of Way the Brush paints, then yeah, I'd jump right on that. Sure, why not, right? You know, be a lot of fun. But yeah, I just no. But I mean, yeah, you totally can take your pigment and add linseed oil, and you got oil paint. Add acrylic, you got acrylic paint. You know, same thing. Dark Commission. I don't know about Primarks, but I had a revelation while watching a certain cartoon yesterday. Quirk and Steve are SpongeBob and Patrick. That's funny. That's funny. I'm laughing. SpongeBob and Patrick. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Oh man, hopefully those guys don't ever watch my show. Oh man. Sofa Bear, you said you decided which Primarchs you were. What were the other guys? I can't remember. I know Luca. Luca is Lehman Russ. I know that one. I can't remember which one Steve is. Oh, I think he is the Primarch of the Iron Warriors. I think that's who he is. Perturbo or yeah, Pro Turbo. And Quirk is Alfarius. Which one was Josh? I can't remember which one Josh is. Yeah, but the funny part is though, yeah, Luca is Lehman Russ. He fits it so well. Oh man. Ebb and Flow. And Kris, I thought it was Disco Duck, like the smash hit LP from Disney in the late 70s. Disco Duck. Yeah. Anyway. Aaron Seach, Way the Brush, paint. Just imagine the names in different colors. For instance, Monkey Poop Brown. No, I don't know. I think I would probably keep the names actually fairly simple and straightforward. If I was to make up my own paint line, maybe a few comedy names. I don't know. But yeah, I think I would probably keep them pretty straightforward, because that way, if you were using a particular paint and I was using the paints, and you know what I mean? And so when I say, well, I did this recipe by this many drops of this color, you know, this many times and such, and then for you to replicate it, you know what I mean? And so then it would be easy for you to replicate results that I was producing, you know, or, you know, so similar kind of things, I guess. Anyway. Dark Commission, Aaron Seach, Nurglebum Green, yeah. Bleep Boop, Name Butcher. Kris the Name Butcher. Can't help it, man. The Name Butcher. Let's do another email. Headphones. Email time. Email time. This is from Clayton, Mr. Clayton Tate. 3 emails back to back. First, I'd like to thank you for the compliments on the big converted kill tank that I've been working on. Your and the monkey's praise was great creative fuel to help get it done. Awesome. I have an airbrush setup and was using it to prime and base coat. I primed the tank in a mix of Vallejo black and white primer for the gray tone, which I didn't photograph, but then went on to put on some base coats on it. I first sprayed it with a mix of Lead Belcher and Wild Rider Red. Ooh, interesting. This is a great base for rusty metal. I masked areas that I wanted to stay rusty and base coated the rest with Mephiston Red. I picked out edges, paint damage, I guess, rivets and the like with the mix, rust mix. I experimented with a dry brush of bright silver on the edges in some spots. I then experimented with the paint black and white checks with the airbrush and was unhappy with the results, so I spent a day hand painting the rest. It was having an argument for a full day, and you're just happy it's over. Pictures. Note, if the files are bigger than 25 megabytes, they are sent as Google Drive links. There will be 3 emails. Second email will have the second half of the masking drama. So here are his efforts. Now, this sounds pretty straightforward as far as, you know, how he laid this all out. Now, remember, he had shown this conversion. This is an extra wide battle wagon. He's converted. This thing is freaking awesome. I'm just thoroughly impressed with this thing. I love the tracks. I can't remember. It was in the last show where he said he got those tracks from. But otherwise, look at this beast. Look at this thing. This thing is freaking wild. I just love this thing. This is awesome. I'm really liking all the weathering on it. That's really cool. And I found it very interesting that you sprayed it with a Wild Rider red and lead belcher mix. That's very, very interesting. Oh yeah, because it even gets the rust inside the interiors and such. Very interesting. Now, what you said you mixed it, right? Yeah, mix of lead belcher and Wild Rider. Okay, sorry. So you mixed them. Interesting. Love the smoke coming out the loader. That's so cool. Love that effect. Those little gobos. And so here is his, I guess he was masking for the checker pattern. Very interesting. Okay, so that's the end of that email. Okay, so hold on here. I gotta pull up the other email. And so here is the rest of the mask. Oops, showing his email address again. Damn it. Here's the rest of the masking picture, the final tank, and the final tank. So far with checks, maybe 50% completed. Third email, converted big tracks with Super Scorchas. And so here, he's laying in the black, I'd assume, for the checkers. And then he squares them off. Sure, yeah, it makes sense, right? Laying the little checker pattern. That makes a lot of sense. Sprayed it in. Oh. Okay, wait, let's go back one. Huh. Now why didn't, yeah, why, that should have worked. Because the checks look close enough that it should have worked. Oops. Oops. Oh, I don't want to download it, damn it. Anyway. Interesting. Yeah, it's not strong enough, right? Where corners should have met up and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I can see where the corners were supposed to meet. Huh. Okay, so he went back and went red, right? See in the back there, it's not too bad because it was mostly flat at that point, right? Very cool. This thing's so cool. Are the big bullet casings or shell casings going to get colored brass? Are those going to get brass or are they going to stay like a metallic? Yeah, see the checker pattern in the front here, that looks like he did that by hand. That looks really good, nice and sharp. Love it on the icon on the gun. Am I showing this enough? Yeah. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Yeah, that's really cool. Oh yeah, look at the bottom of the turret there. Yeah. There's a company, Followed Hobbies. They produce stencils, and they're pretty darn good. They're vinyl. They adhere to surfaces. They're pretty easy to work with, and you know, you might have been able to airbrush them pretty quick. Maybe for the next project, I don't know. But they do have a checkered stencil. Weeding their vinyl stencil though, bit of a pain. Small bit of a pain. Small bit of a pain. Does that make sense? And last but not least, part of his email. Woohoo! Didn't show his email. Okay. Sadly, I have played some practice games for a 2K ITC Rules Pack tournament in February. My first 2 games were against Beltan, white and green, re-rolling ones to shoot, Eldar list, and he has 16 or so games for this tournament under his belt. And he is a perfect opponent because he is out to win. And hey, it's competitive 40K. Yeah, sure. I mean, there's nothing wrong with playing competitively, playing to win. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just what's wrong is when somebody is blatantly cheating or will do anything to win, right? Win at all costs kind of play. I have issue with some of those players. Sadly, I hope I've never been that kind of person, but I don't know. Some people might have that different opinion. Sometimes I do get a little competitive when playing, but who doesn't? I mean, that's the whole point, right? I mean, it's a 1v1. It's like chess. There's got to be a winner. There's got to be a winner. There's got to be a loser. I'd rather be the winner. Sadly, the kill tank doesn't pack the punch it needs for its points, but my 2 converted Super Scorcher carrying big tracks definitely do. Both are widened GW kits like the tank. The first is a widened trunk with a battle wagon ram in the front tracks. It may get repainted. The second, the blue one, is a widened Torox with Orky bits thrown on it. It came together very nicely, I feel. Orky wheels and battle wagon tracks on that too. Pictures, and thanks again for hosting your show. It is fun to send out pics into the internet to a smaller group of people. And so let's have a look at Clayton's work. Let's move that down a bit. There we go. This is very cool. It's a big, flak truck. It's very, very cool. Such awesome conversions, dude. So much fun. Yeah, that is so cool. Have you ever considered for the engines? Because I look at the engine block there in the front, and have you ever considered getting proper model kit engines and replacing those? Just to give them a bit more depth. Because I find that the engine kits are just kind of meh, Whereas if you had a proper engine in there, it might give it a bit more realism kind of thing. But I guess it's orcs, and it's not realistic, right? So one could argue. But I like this truck, though. It's very, very cool. The guy's got his hand up. He's signaling. I don't know, the little grot, hanging on for his life. Really, really cool. Love all the bits, man. That's fantastic. And the widening of the vehicles is just such a fantastic idea. Look at this. This is the Torox kit, and look at how where you wind it. That is so cool. And what is this one supposed to be? It's kit. I can't remember now. Can't remember what the heck this one's supposed to be called. But anyway, very cool. Yeah. Now, did you paint these in the similar process as you had done with your previous ones, where you made a mixture of, say, Wild Rider Red and Lead Belcher, and then laid it down and then laid the color on top and then just kind of rusted it up? Or what way did you go about it? Oh, this is a Super Scorcher. That's what this is. Okay. I see the flamer on the end of the gun here. I guess that's you're to assume that's the pilot light. Okay, I got it. I can see. I'm smart. Awesome, Clayton. Thank you for sending those in. Those are wicked conversions. Wicked conversions. What time are we at? Holy crap! It's already after 2. My God, we are possibly done. We might be done. I have no idea. Stream says we're still going strong. Everything's going good. Everything's going good? Yeah, I think everything's going good. Where was I in the Clayton Tates? And yeah. Okay. So what time are we at here? 2? We started the show a little bit late, right? So we probably got time for maybe one more email. Let's do one more email. Just because. And we gotta catch up anyway. Because we didn't do much emails last episode. Yeah, the giveaway. We didn't do much emails last episode because of the giveaway. So, oops. Damn it. I meant to click that first. And then click email. Oh, you know what? I made a boo-boo too. I made a boo-boo. Oops. Showing his email again. I was playing the intro music. And I forgot to mention. Shame on me. I know. Bad, Kris. Bad. That the intro for the email jingle by Guymere Alfer, aka Carl, aka Beer and Blood Bowl. Always have to give thanks because he was kind enough to dedicate a bit of time to make the music and create those jingles. And so I always feel bad whenever I miss those. Anywho, so thank you, Carl, for the jingles. I always have to say thank you. You should always give thanks. Always. Anyway, this is from... Oh, it's from Zach again. Eldari Lamborghini. Oh, great lord. Oh, great lord of the monkeys. Finished up a binge painting session to break the rut from painting my Eldar army. So, I painted up a Grace Myrtle model from Wild West Exodus line of models, inspired by Fallout New Vegas character, Cass. Scoured the quick tips for all sorts of fun ideas. Let me know what you think. Cheers, Zach, aka Eldari Lamborghini. And so here's his Wild West Exodus model. I like it. I mean, we're starting off with the back side of the model, but I like the color on the jeans, the jacket. I mean, the hair looks good. Everything looks good. It's good. You know, paint looks like it's where it should be. Oh, there's little details in the shirt. Okay, cool. I guess that must be something on the artwork, I guess. But very, very cool. I think a little bit more contrast in the gun, maybe. This angle looks great. It's nice and neat. The hair, I like the hair on this angle. It looks really cool. I assume you were painting it like its artwork, maybe. I assume that's why she's in these particular colors. I'm assuming. I have no idea. I'm just assuming. But you know what happens when you assume, right? I don't. What happens? Anyway. Oh, that's it. That's it. Damn it. Oh, damn it. There we go. That's what happens when there's too many buttons to click. It's all these things. Oh, God. Anyway. Thank you, Zach Eldari. Thank you for sending that in. Awesome stuff. I like it. She's nice and clean. I mean, any faults in there? I'd like to see a little bit more tonal depth. You know, maybe a little bit more depth in the colors of the hat. You know, just get a little more contrasting points. I think the hair. I think maybe a little bit more highlights out towards the ends of the hairs. You know. Other than that, no. I mean, it was good. The rifle, I felt like some of the details, at least in that one shot, I wasn't seeing enough of the details of the gun. I think a little bit more contrast on there. You know, just picking out like the details or just getting a deeper metal color in there or something like that. But otherwise, no. It all looked really good. I liked it. It was a very interesting model. We have some Wild West Exodus models at the office. I have not perused them at all, but I might have to, you know, just to vary up, because yeah, lately it seems like quick tips and painting tutorials have been very GW centric, and so it'd be nice to kind of you know, break some of those up and, you know, offer people some other options out there. Let people know that there are other models out there, you know. I mean, GW is the biggest, and they do make great models, but, you know, they're not the only guys who make fantastic models. There are other people out there making really fantastic models, and, you know, we should showcase other companies like that. But, I mean, we do, actually. I mean, we have a partnership program where, you know, we advertise their games, you know, for some of the less known, more obscure type companies out there. So, yeah. Bit more trying to help, you know, I guess, some other companies out there, right? 10 after. How long has the show been on? About on 2 hours. Holy man, it's 2 hours and 5 minutes and 8, 9, 10 seconds. So I think we could probably end it there, I suppose. I may jump on later. Because again, I didn't do a Twitch stream today, and I kind of wanted to do a Twitch stream. I was thinking about maybe doing a game. I don't know. I was thinking about maybe hopping on Discord later and seeing if I can round up some monkeys to have a game of maybe, I don't know, game of something. Actually, wouldn't mind chilling out with maybe a bit of Talisman. I don't know. We'll have to see because again, playoffs today. Steelers are playing right now. Actually, I gotta hurry up. I've already missed that hour of the game, so I gotta see what's going on. Then it's a old Super Bowl. So anywho, if you any questions, comments, you want your piece critiqued, or you want some help on a color scheme, you're a painting commission service, you want to drum some extra exposure, or you just want to show off what you're working on, send it to Kris@miniwargaming.com. If you're brand new to the hobby, and you need a question answered, feel free to ask them. There are no dumb questions here, even if it's something you feel that might, been asked a million times. I've been asked questions a million times, and I'll answer them a million more times. And it's no bother to me. I'm happy to do it. I enjoy doing it. And so so Kris@miniwargaming.com. Of course, you can join me at waythebrush.com. That's going to be the hub of everything. So Discord, the links for Discord, the links for Instagram, the links for Twitter, the links for Spotify, the links for this and that, and the live show. Oh, the Monkey Shrine, the Monkey Shrine. Jeez Louise, people, monkeys, come on. And for all you monkeys out there who have bought shirts, and I know there's a couple of you out there, please send me a picture of yourself, please, in your shirt, in whatever location you like. Could be in your bathroom, I don't care. But anyway, Monkey Shrine. Because I want to fill the Monkey Shrine with all you guys. I want to have all you guys in there, and so I think it'd be fantastic. And of course, what else here? Monkey Shrine. What's the other thing in there? I can't remember now. Anyway, yeah. So that's pretty much it, because it's waythebrush.com. And that's the central source of it all now. T-shirts, Way the Brush t-shirts. I'm not wearing a t-shirt today because actually mine are dirty. Oh, but I ordered one. Oh, I forgot to order another one. Oops. I forgot to order one. There's one I was supposed to order a while ago, but I didn't order it. Oh, and I looked into the patches because everybody is familiar with. Here, let's see if I can add this while we're talking here. I finished the monkey logo, right? Oop, too big. And people have suggested let's do him. Let's do him as like a patch or something, right? Let's do him as a sticker. And I looked into it, got some prices, and so I'm thinking I might, get a little patch of the guy, maybe some stickers. People can tag things. Be kind of fun. Be kind of fun to have these for giveaway stuff for an Adepticon. And so I'm thinking that might be my goal, is I have a couple of these things for people at Adepticon, just for giggles. Why not, right? Where's the comments? Anybody have any last bit of comments? Audio is jacked? Oh, my audio is jacked? I don't know. What happened to my audio? I don't know. I didn't do anything. I didn't touch anything, I didn't think. Anywho, yeah. That's the mic on this computer. I don't know. For whatever reason. Oh, wait. What's it? Eric found. The Jaguars are killing the Steelers 21-7. Screw you! Are they? No, they're not. Alex! Nobody's here. Oh, he went next door. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, okay. Stickers, yeah. Stickers handout at the cons. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So I think we're going to do this little guy. We're going to have him for stickers. And maybe patches as well. Stickers for maybe giveaways. So you guys can tag stuff. And, because, if you do use them and tag them on stuff, I do want pictures of that. Hashtag Way of the Brush. That's a given. In fact, that's a part of Project Mayhem. And in fact, maybe I'll hand out rectal stickers as well. You know, the rectal only stickers? Maybe I'll hand out some of those as well. For Project Mayhem. Take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you, and I'll see you guys next week. Yeah, next week. Yeah. Yeah, next week. Yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Come hell or high water, as it were. Take care of your brushes. I will see you guys next week. I already said that.